Breaking news, the judge in the Tyler Hadley murder case has accepted the no contest plea, and we have team coverage today at noon. We start with News Channel 5's John Shaman, who just got out of the courtroom. John?
Well, good afternoon, Mike. It was a heated debate up in courtroom 3B in Judge Robert Makemson's chambers. About an hour long, the hearing took place here at the St. Lucie County Courthouse. And when it was done, the judge accepted the change of plea from Tyler Hadley from guilty to a no contest plea. The judge asked Tyler Hadley if he understood what he was doing. Tyler Hadley said yes, he did, and that he was not pleading guilty, but he was pleading no contest because, as he said in the courtroom, this was in his best interest. Now, from here, what will happen is there will be what's called a juvenile mitigation hearing, which essentially is going to be a mini trial. Prosecutor Tom Bakadal said he wants to come in and present to the judge why Tyler Hadley should receive a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. That seemed to be the big contention today. The public defender, Diamond Liddy, trying to find ways, if you will, to give Tyler Hadley the chance not to have life without the possibility of parole. And we just got out of the courtroom a few moments ago. Let's hear from both attorneys.
The judge left open the option to consider some other term of years. I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that will comport with the present state of the law, but that's something we'll have to litigate.
What would you like?
Obviously I want to see life. This is what this case deserves. This is what I've said from the beginning, and this is what I'll say on the final day of this matter.
One of the biggest differences between maturity and immaturity is taking responsibility for your actions, which he did today.
Public defender Diamond Liddy also saying that she will present a side of Tyler Hadley at this juvenile mitigation hearing that people have not seen before. Now, the trial, which now again will not happen, was scheduled to take 4 weeks. This mitigation hearing, the judge has set aside at least 1 week, and it could go into a second week starting March 10th. Just to back up for a moment for people who are not familiar with the Tyler Hadley case, Hadley was charged with first-degree murder for bludgeoning his parents to death back in July of 2011 with a framing hammer, then throwing a party where he sent out the invitations on Facebook while his parents' bodies were still in their Port St. Lucie home. So Tyler Hadley changing his plea from not guilty to no contest. Sentencing hearing will begin on March 10th. We're live in downtown Fort Pierce. John Shaman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
Thank you, John. And our News Channel 5 legal analyst, Michelle Suskauer, joins us live to break down today's hearing. And thank you for joining us, Michelle.
Sure.
First, I want to ask just why this plea, why now? Is it simply just to possibly get out of jail later in life?
Well, certainly what the public defender wants is to give Tyler Hadley a chance to not spend the rest of his life in prison and to possibly get out at some point. So it's going to be a very significant hearing. It's not a trial. He's not having the state prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but it's going to give both sides an opportunity to make their case before the court, and the court has complete discretion as to whether to sentence him, whatever the court wants to do, whether it's life in prison without the possibility of parole, whether it's possibility of parole or something less. And he's going to hear experts from both sides, and he's going to hear from witnesses. So it's really like a mini trial.
This mitigation hearing is what we're referring to here.
Yes.
This is what's going to happen before the March 10th sentencing.
Right. Well, no, actually, it's set for March 10th,
Yep.
and it's going to be not just the mitigation hearing is going to be like a mini trial, and it's going to last at least 1 week, possibly going into 2.
Yep.
So it's really going to be a very significant hearing where the court, and before Tyler Hadley entered his plea, it was very, a lot of back and forth because the judge wanted to make sure that Tyler Hadley completely understood what he was doing and the rights that he was giving up by entering this plea of no contest.
I want to ask you, how difficult is that as an attorney to come to an agreement with your client to make such a change in course here like Tyler Hadley did today?
These are a very, very difficult, tough conversations that you have to have with your client. I've had in the past with my clients to really go over the pros and cons and to be incredibly frank and say, look, these are your chances. But ultimately, it's not up to the lawyer. Ultimately, it's up to Tyler Hadley. So you need to make sure that your client completely understands what they're doing and they understand the choices. You can advise them, but it's completely up to them.